don't quite know when or where lying was created. Some believe it was a primal instinct that we developed. Others turn to God and religion. However, what we do know is how people lie. A lie is a statement that is false in actuality, a statement which makes some of us nervous. Little quirks in movement, or micro-expressions as they're often called, reveal falsities. Science tells us that right-handed individuals tend to look up to the left when remembering some sort of memory, and up to the right when they're lying. However, even science can't be right 100% of the time, since we've still not fully explored the most fascinating and elusive part of our being, our brain. Therefore, because of the diversity in the way we think, it's almost impossible to know if someone is really lying or just being natural.
How often do you think you lie a day?
I think I lie at least once or twice a day, depending on the situation. Sometimes I won't lie, but I might just toss in a casual lie as a joke or to get out of something sometimes.
Like 20 times.
I lie when I need to, so I don't really consider that very often, but when I need to, I do lie. So maybe twice a week. Depends who I'm talking to.
I'll say about most of the time that I talk to students, I lie to them.
How often do I think I lie a day? Depends on the day, I guess. No, I'm kidding. I'd say I probably lie about little things here and there, things that you wouldn't even notice that you lie about. I probably lie about throughout the day. Nothing big, but yeah.
Lying often starts with a wrongdoing. As children, when we did something that our parents disapproved of, we would be punished for it. Psychologists say that this form of conditioning is a big factor in how and why people lie today. As children go into adults, they are cautious of doing something wrong because they fear the punishment. So oftentimes they resort to lying.
Are you comfortable about lying?
No, I'm not comfortable with lying. It's not, people tend to hide their feelings, and that's what people naturally feel comfortable with, because obviously it's hard to deal with honest emotions and raw feeling, but you have to sometimes, and it's completely necessary to just not lie and be honest.
Yeah, I kind of am comfortable with lying, but if it's just a lie to protect myself or to protect somebody else, then yeah, I'm okay with it. But if it's a huge lie, then it'll obviously be more difficult. It'll be more stressful to do.
Same. Yeah. I feel like people lie so much that it kind of becomes second nature. You don't think about it, you just do it.
Are you comfortable about lying?
Most of the time I feel comfortable. Sometimes I have a bit of guilt, but I would say I'm comfortable, yes, for the most part.
Depends on who I'm talking to or who I'm lying to.
Why do you say that?
Because if it's something simple, like I'm running late and I'll make up some kind of excuse, I don't feel guilty about that.
Not really. Not at all.
Why do you say that?
It makes me very uncomfortable because I feel one, if people can tell that you're lying, it puts you in a really embarrassing and awkward situation, and two, it's just morally wrong. So for me to do something that's morally wrong, yeah.
Not always. If I'm lying to my parents, I don't feel comfortable at all because they're my parents. Close friends, I don't feel very comfortable either, but if it's a stranger, I don't really give a shit.
People lie for all kinds of reasons, whether it's to hide information, a force of habit, or even for attention. Everybody has or will lie at some point in time. In fact, there are some people who can't stop lying. Psychologists call these people compulsive or psychopathic liars. Compulsive liars, associated with a weak mental state, lie out of pure habit. The most common affiliation of a lie is a conflict-avoiding one. For most people, small lies in order to avoid a conflict in the near future are a top motivator for deception. However, one of the big problems psychologists warn people is that not that lying is bad, it's that it's addicting. Liars often find themselves trying to remember their fabrications and create more lies in order to cover up for discrepancies in their previous falsities. Truth becomes a feared enemy of the liar.
Do you think you can tell when someone is lying to you?
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good at it. Like there's obvious things where you're like, I know you're lying, but you don't say it, but you know.
How can you tell?
How can I tell? Well, if it's like something that like when you're lying, like you're usually not comfortable about what you're saying. Like sometimes I'll lie to like hide up something that you're embarrassed about, or like you don't want people to know, or you want to seem like you're someone that you're not sometimes. So sometimes when you lie about things like that, you can tell in like their their facial expressions, the way they like present themselves and stuff. They feel like awkward, and you can tell that they're lying.
Yeah, sometimes body language, maybe tone of voice, looking down, not making eye contact.
I've actually Googled how to know if someone's lying. Usually if people like don't look at you, if they like cover their mouth, those are like signs that you know that they're lying. But usually I just get this intuition. Whether or not they're lying is kind of a belief. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. You don't really know.
Do you look for something specific?
Like I said, usually if they're not looking at me, or just if I know them as a person and their history of lying, then usually I might know if they're a liar or not. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious based on who it is and what they're saying. You can pretty much tell if they're lying or not.
It depends, because like myself, I'm a very good liar, so if there's someone like me, then no. But students, yes, definitely can tell when the students are lying.
I think it depends on what the person is actually talking about, because when it's something that's less meaningful, it's easier to lie about, but when it's something that actually matters, you can tell if the person cares because they get more nervous or they feel uncomfortable, and you can feel that tension. Yeah.
Do you find it's easier to know when somebody's lying who you know?
Yeah, because you know how they normally act, so it's easier to tell like this is like inconsistent behavior and like they shouldn't be speaking to me this way or whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely can tell when people are lying to me.
What do you look for?
I look for their eyes, whether or not they're moving side to side, if they're trying to avoid eye contact, things like if they stutter, stuff like that, yeah.
Sometimes. Sometimes some people are really distinct with how they give it away.
Why do you say that?
A lot of people tend to get nervous, I guess, and I kind of see that because, I lie a bit, so I get used to seeing the characteristics in people sometimes.
I can totally lie. I can totally tell when somebody's lying to me.
So what are the things that you look for?
It's usually in their tone of voice. They can't look at me straight in the face and tell me if they're lying. This is mostly students and my own children are the ones. Other people?
Would you call somebody out on lying?
A student? Yeah. My kids? Yeah, totally. Yes.
When there's no immediate or direct punishment, embarrassment is usually punishment enough. The implied loss of esteem and social status makes some very nervous. So nervous, in fact, that they enforce a lie in order to cover up.